Greetings and welcome, or hopefully welcome back. Before we begin, let me take a few moments to give the obligatory like this video, comment on this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and more importantly, share this video with a friend, a neighbor, or some random guy on the internet. Let's try and get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. While you're at it, be sure to check out my Patreon channel. Consider becoming a subscriber and help keep my editor energized with tacos and tequila. Seriously, editors are a large part of what makes the world go round in this business. Give them some love. Links are in the video description and in the page description on both YouTube and Rumble. And lastly, a quick shout out to my Tier 3 and 4 patrons. Russ of the Frozen North, Neo5AC, Nick, Zachary Langmead, Scarewolf1206, and Zachery Raney. Thank you very much. And now, on with the story. The Deathworlders, a story by Philip R. Johnson, a.k.a. Hambone, Hambone HFY, and Hambone 3110. Chapter 24, An Alien World. Part 11. Date point, 10 years, 4 months, 6 days AV. North Clearwater County, Minnesota, USA, Earth. Julian at Stabity. After carefully filing the drift of legal correspondence in a heap on the coffee table, the three of them had been able to fit around the kitchen island on the bar stools. Julian sat at one end with Allison next to him, and Jenkins and a sophisticated state-of-the-art phone, complete with holographic projector, sat at the other. So, pretty much since Scotch Creek released the first wave of warp and kinetic tech to the public, the second space race has been a whole thing, Jenkins told them. You've got Hephaestus LLC up on Ceres, Red Bull driving their sales up by sponsoring everything that flies higher than football, BAE and Lockheed Martin vying for the military contracts, Virgin Space Tourism and the Starkisser flights, and Byron Group. He swiped through a few items on the phone and then grinned as it delivered a shimmering, transparent rendering of what was clearly a spaceship. Most of what the group's up to is applying space tech to people's lives down here on Earth. Force-wheeled solar power, stasis fridges, sanitation fields, holographic phones, and TVs. He gestured the phone with a smile and shrug. Doesn't hurt that the group makes the best warp engines and jump drives, too. When Allison and Julian just waited patiently and listened, he cleared his throat and forged ahead. What that buys is the cash for what Mr. Byron calls moon laser projects. He's got big dreams, human colonies, interstellar low-latency communications, interplanetary trade by jump array instead of freighter. You name it. Stuff that needs a big investment. Top of the list are colonization and trade. So, you need exposed market surveyors, Allison observed. You got it. Folks who can find us worlds to live on, tell us what we're going to have to do to live on them safely without killing all the locals. You got it. Folks who can find us worlds to live on, tell us what we're going to have to do to live on them safely without killing all the locals. Folks who can talk with the locals and maybe find out what they've got that we want and what we can pay them. Hence, the Byron Group exploration vessels. This here is EV-10, Creature of Habit, the most recent one. Sleek, Julian commented. It really was. The ship was clearly nothing but functional. But it was functional in the same way as a good knife. The sheer, unyielding utility of its form was beautiful in its own right. Moon laser shit again. Mr. Byron reckons that the human brand is going to be about aesthetics of function. Gotta impress the customer, he says. Jenkins' tone suggested that he had disagreements there. Anyways, the thing is, about half of the ships in the EV program never came back. We've mostly figured out what got them, but if we can crew them with people who know what it's like out there, star-wise people you know, like streetwise, but for... We get it, Allison told him. Julian suppressed a smile. She was entertaining when she got prickly. Right, well, that'd be you guys. Zhu Shang, too, if you can talk to her. Can't you ask her yourself? Allison asked. Jenkins cleared his throat awkwardly. She, wasn't receptive to the idea. Allison sat back. Oh my God! Zhu broke your nose! Yeah. Julian and Allison frowned at one another. We like Zhu and we trust her opinion, Julian told him. If she got pissed at you, that's kind of a deal breaker. That's a pity, because the Byron group's prepared to take on your legal snafu and win it, and install a caretaker to keep this place in working order while you're gone. Allison stood up. And now I see why she broke your nose, she snapped and spun away. Julian just folded his arms and glared. You'd hold that over us? Jenkins raised both hands. No, nothing like holding it over you. I didn't come here to threaten. I'm just saying, you've got what we need, and we're willing to pay for it. Julian turned and frowned at him, and Jenkins lowered his hands. The offer's honest, I promise, he said. Allison looked at Julian. Julian briefly considered tossing Jenkins out on his ear, but the offer of legal assistance was far too good to waste, and there was still the unresolved question of how exactly they were planning to get into space and with whom. Give us a day or two to think about it, he suggested. Sure, here. Jenkins pulled out a business card from inside his jacket pocket. Take your time. He laid it on the table and stood. Hey, look, whatever you decide, good luck. Julian stood, shook his hand, and escorted him to the door. Once the screen door had finished wailing itself closed, he took a moment to take stock of his situation. I say go for it, he told Allison, turning to face her. You broke his nose, she repeated. He's just one guy. There've got to be others working for Byron, Julian shrugged. And, Ju's great, but she'd be the first to say her head's not completely in the right place sometimes. Julian! Remember that time she turned down Lewis by saying she wasn't looking to mate with anyone? Allison blinked. Oh, okay. Point. Look, why don't you call her? Julian suggested. My phone still needs to charge, and I think she'd like to hear from you anyways. Allison nodded. If there was a touch of nervousness in the way she did so, Julian decided not to comment. He wasn't quite sure where Allison and Ju stood with one another. They hadn't really had a lot of time to discuss things since their night of, since he'd been their waiter. Their shirtless, eye-candy, objectified waiter. He sat on a bar stool again and tried to turn his thoughts to housework instead. Date point. 10 years, 4 months, 6 days, AV. Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, Earth. Regaari. Regaari had ridden in plenty of motorcades before during his time attached to Mother Supreme Giamai. He wasn't quite sure about riding sideways in a limousine, something that Warhorse and Baseball had quietly waxed enthusiastic about for some reason, but he had to admit that it was nice to be sitting opposite the protectors, rather than crammed in between the door and their muscles. This particular motorcade didn't have far to go, as apparently the distance between the Chang family's house in Strathcona and Vancouver City Hall was not great, but it looked to be a tense, quiet, and despondent journey. Mother Ayma wasn't happy. Not happy at all. Seething, in fact, to the point that her claws were wearing small, frayed gouges in the upholstery. Regaari and Warhorse had figured out a gesture between them, which was to mean, please turn off the translator and give us some privacy. He used it now, and Warhorse promptly nodded and obeyed. The audioscape of the limo changed ever so subtly as the targeted white noise that the device used to cancel an overlay speech from each listener's perspective shut down. Regaari steeled himself and spoke to Ayma. You're troubled, he said. My sister is plainly miserable, Regaari, Ayma said so fast that it was almost a snap at him. Regaari made a little growling noise that denoted understanding and or agreement. You're right, that was inane of me. What I'm wondering is, what else is going on in your head besides concern for Shu? What else should be? Ayma retorted. Regaari tucked his right leg under himself so as to turn slightly in the seat and face her. What about all your other sisters? He asked. Ayma hung her head and flicked an ear, irritated. Must you use your endless brain on me? She asked. I can no sooner stop being a Whitecrest than you can stop being a mother, Regaari replied evenly. I know my reasons for coming here. To forge strategic ties, to advance the interests of my clan and by extension all Gowans. It is my good fortune that I can achieve those things by helping my good friend and, I admit, indulging my curiosity about Earth into the bargain. But I do have to wonder, what are your reasons for coming here? You're the one who suggested it after all. not to be crass, but what did you hope to achieve? Ayma looked out the window for a moment before replying. Maybe I'm just a mother looking out for a wounded cub, she mused. Is that shallow? No, not at all, Regaari told her. You wouldn't be Ayma if you didn't care, but she was not a cub. She was an adult before we ever even met her, and as I recall, she saved both our lives. She spent more years surviving on her own than she spent with us, and she has become good at it. Ayma ducked her head. She did, didn't she? She no longer has that childish turn of phrase. Did your cub grow up, Mother Ayma? Ayma chittered. She did, she agreed. She truly did, and it pains me to let my cub go, but I'm glad. I think she'll be okay. I think so, too. Ayma relaxed and turned her attention out the window again, watching the crowd of people holding signs welcoming them to Earth. Yes, she will. Date point. 10 years, 4 months, 6 days, AV. North Clearwater County, Minnesota, USA, Earth. Allison Bueller. It was funny how heavy a phone could be. Most of the time, it was an unconsidered thing, just a part of life on Earth that would sit in Allison's handbag or pocket, and thank God fashion had finally gotten its head around the idea that women wanted pockets that were more than decorative, to be ignored until needed, at which point it would be fished out, used, and returned unheeded. It was like an extension of her own body in that regard, and just like an arm or leg, the weight of it only ever became apparent when it had become numb, or in this case, when she was staring at the phone, working up the courage to hit call. There was, as far as she could tell, no good reason for this. Zhu was a friend. Good fun. She and Allison had hit it off pretty much the second she came aboard, and that bit of fun with Julian serving drinks while they watched Mulan, well, that had all been good fun. Very good fun. Exciting, even. And that was the problem. It had been exciting. Not just the thrill of pushing the limits in her relationship with Julian, but, well, they could have pushed the boat out in private, but they'd chosen to invite Zhu in. Allison had chosen to invite Zhu in, into something she wouldn't normally have shared with anybody, into her sex life, and into her relationship with her boyfriend. And she had thoroughly enjoyed it. She had enjoyed watching Zhu sneak glances at Julian, and not in a smug, yeah, bitch, look at what I got sense, but in... It rang. She stared at Zhu's name and the video call request in dumb surprise for 3 rings before her thumb swiped at the green call accept icon automatically and her voice went into autopilot. Hey, babe. Zhu waved at her from the other end. She looked peaceful, happy even. It was a nice change. Hey. You're looking good. Home agreeing with you, huh? Well, Zhu turned the phone around and gave her a good look at a room completely empty of furniture or decorations. That's complicated. Wow, they threw all your stuff out, Allison asked, scandalized. Oh no, I did. Zhu turned the phone back around again. You did? Yeah. Why? Zhu shrugged as if it was no great thing. It just didn't feel like my stuff anymore, she explained. None of it? Just some clothes. Zhu looked around at the empty space she'd made for herself. Is that strange? Maybe, Allison asked. I mean, you are huge on getting home, and the first thing you do is throw out all your stuff? Zhu made an awkward noise and tied it up in an errant wisp of hair. It feels more like my place now that it's a blank canvas, she said. Have you been following the news? Why? Did something happen? Wow, okay, Ayma and Regaari? Allison frowned. They're on the news. They came here. Zhu said it with forced lightness. As in? Allison took a heartbeat to get her head around what she'd just been told. They visited you, here on Earth. Right here in my parents' front room, yeah. Zhu had a nervous laugh in her voice at that. The camera jolted as she shrugged. And, Apparently they're going to visit some U.S. national park and then fly over to England, and the king's going to give Regaari a medal. A medal? What for? So there was this other thing in the news that we've missed. Apparently the hunters hit this big space station that's meant to be like the biggest, the most important in the Dominion. Why am I only just hearing about this now? Allison sat forward. Because we were in hospital, I guess, and I was too busy trying to, Zhu gestured to the room around her, trying to settle in up here and get back in shape, that I guess I forgot to check up on the last 10 years of world history. There's a lot of it. Wow, yeah. You missed the best part of a decade, didn't you? When you think about how much happened in, like, the 60s or the 40s or whatever, Allison agreed. You missed 5 years too, Zhu pointed out. Did you know there's a city in the asteroid belt now? And another one on the planet Cimbrian? I knew there were small colonies, Allison said. Cities? Yeah, it's kind of scary. When I left, aliens were just a silly story when I left, and all of this would have been on TV. And now you're fluent in an alien language and could probably get a job in one of those cities, Allison said. Wow, mindfuck. Yeah, anyway, Regaari was on that station with Mother Guillemai. She didn't make it. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. Allison moved the phone closer to her face, as if a little more digital proximity might make all the difference in comfort. Zhu smiled for her. It's okay. She was very old even when I first met her, and Regaari told me the hunters didn't get her. I'll miss her, but... Allison just nodded, and they had a moment of mutual silence before Zhu perked up again. Oh, okay. You know those soldiers who pulled us off the lifeboat? Yeah. Well, they went to that station to save people. Sergeant Ares, the one who treated me, he is friends with Regaari. Apparently they fought together in that battle. My Regaari. Wow. Small galaxy. More like a really small group of guys in that job, Zhu suggested. Anyways, apparently the British want to give Regaari a medal. And Ayma? Zhu laughed. I don't know if she wanted to scold me or check if I was okay. Both, I guess, but it's... Allison let her think, and after a thoughtful scratch at her eyebrow, Zhu turned back to the camera. I guess I owe you an apology, she said. What for? For being so... Zhu hunted for the right word. So down these last couple of weeks. It's just weird being back here. Allison scooted back on the bed and folded her legs. Not like you imagined. Zhu shook her head. No, Mom's trying to act like nothing really happened, like she's not 60 now. Wei doesn't know how to talk with me, and I don't know how to talk to him. And Papa? He's kind of sad all the time. Like, I'll catch him looking at me, and then he'll look away, and I think I can see tears. Allison chose her words carefully. Do you think it's likely to get any better? She asked. Zhu made a coarse noise in her throat and snarled something in Geori. It was a good language for snarling in, like an angrier version of Mandarin as spoken by a mouthful of sharp teeth. Say again, Allison asked her. I said no. No, I don't. You don't want to hear the kind of work offers I've been getting. Do tell. Zhu shook her head, smiling grimly. 5 publishers who want to ghostwrite my story, some asshole from the Byron group, and an actual porn studio. Allison's mouth opened in outrage. You're shitting me. Nah, I think that the guy was just trying his luck, though. Like, he didn't expect me to say yes, but if by some miracle I did... Did you break the porn guy's nose, too? Zhu went red. How did you... That Byron asshole showed up down here, too. I should have known he would. Zhu kneaded her forehead. Do you tell him to go away? Can't. He literally made Julian an offer he can't refuse. Or, if he does refuse, he's crazy. That good? That's this whole legal thing with Julian's grandpa's place. He could lose the house if it goes against him, and this place is really important to him. Zhu sighed. So, if you sign a deal with them, Byron Group sorts it all out? She asked. That kind of manipulation is why I hit that guy. Manipulation it might be, Allison agreed, but it sounded like everyone's going to get what they want. Do I get to hit him again? Allison covered her mouth to stifle a giggle. Zhu was teasing, she knew, a sure sign that, for all the ups and downs of discussing the things she'd learned, she was in a good mood. Okay, so what was it lifted your spirits? She asked. I guess I cleared my head, but I figured out what's really mine in there, like my room. I hope there's more in there than you left in your room. Zhu made a silent laugh through her nose. There is, she promised. Look, can I come down there? Right now? Things are clear right now, and I want to act while they still are. Is that okay? You know you can, Allison told her. You don't mind? I mean, just you and Julian in a little place in the woods. It sounds romantic. Hey, Allison sat forward. There's no way you'd make it less romantic. I promise, she winked. It'll be intimate. Zhu laughed, going slightly red across her nose and cheeks. Her fingertip ran absent-mindedly through her hair at her temple. Well, when you put it like that... Just you, me, a gorgeous guy, and... Oh my God, he has the hugest TV, and there's nobody around for miles, so we could crank the volume right up. Zhu giggled. I do like to get loud, she mused. Her phone jolted as she stood up. I'd better book a flight and, well, let my parents know where I'm going, she said. See you soon? Allison nodded, clearing her throat to try and cure a sudden and unaccounted-for case of dry mouth. Sure, she agreed. You, send us the details, you know? Will do. Sure. Bye for now. Allison waved to the screen. Zhu smiled and ended the call. The instant the phone went dark, Allison tossed it lightly aside onto the blankets and let out a long and shaky breath. Okay. She let herself fall backwards and put her hand over her eyes, thinking, wow. Julian called from the kitchen. You okay? Allison peeled her hands apart and directed an embarrassing grimace at the ceiling. Yeah, she's a coming down here. So soon? Yeah. Hey, if you want a shower, the hot water should be full, Julian suggested, appearing in the doorway. Hope worked that stressful day off? A hot shower sounded simultaneously like the best idea and the worst idea right now, but a lot more of the former. Allison kicked her legs out and sprang up off the bed. You make a compelling argument, she smiled and kissed him on the cheek. Just through here? Yep. Allison slid past him and grabbed her flight bag from where Julian had left it on the couch. What are you going to do? She asked. He just waved a hand helplessly at all the legal paperwork. Allison sighed. Right. You, have fun, I guess. The shower turned out to be amazing. She found a setting that felt almost like she was getting a massage from a wire brush and worked all the tension and travel grime out of her scalp and shoulders, leaned forward and let decadently hot water steam and cascade down her back and legs. A different setting swirled and pulsed pleasantly across her chest and tummy, and the final setting just soaked, allowing her to employ an exfoliating scrub and get herself feeling properly clean for the first time since they'd been landed on the planet Aru. She killed the shower and gave herself a bare minimum drying off, squeezing the excess water out of her hair and swiping it from her arms and legs with her hands. She combed her hair back, grabbed a pair of clean black panties from her luggage and wriggled into them. Draping a hand towel over her shoulders completed the image. She studied herself in the mirror. Blonde hair slicked back and gone dark from the wetness, long limbs beaded with droplets, a lingering wet sheen on her abdomen that had only slightly suffered from not being able to do her usual regimen of crunches, and just enough breast visible from behind the towel. Perfect. She unlocked the door. Hey, it's Sissity, she asked, stepping out into the living room. He looked up. Yeah, whoa. There was nothing like making him speechless, and she deployed her best dark smile. Come here. He was up and sliding an arm around her waist in a second. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah, she laughed and congratulated herself as she felt him kiss and nibble the side of her neck and gently push her back towards the bedroom. Good boy. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am the Casual Deathworlder, your host, and this has been The Deathworlders, Chapter 24, Part 11. I hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. If you did, please go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons, and maybe drop us a comment down below. And while I'm at it, let me give a huge shout out to my editor, Graygor. Thank you very much, buddy. I could never do this without you. Now then. Okay, I've finally finished divvying up this chapter. There's a total of 15 parts, so we got 4 parts left to go. And the last one's going to be fairly long because there's no place to cut that off. So we are getting through this one. And I don't know if the shorter videos are actually helping the algorithm, so I might go back to somewhat longer form videos with the next chapter. We shall see. In the meantime, let me see. Oh, yes. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to make my goal of 1,000 subscribers before Christmas. Actually, I'm not entirely certain when exactly this one's going up, either just before or just after. So I guess we'll see. But by all means, please keep sharing this video, telling your friends about it, and I would at least like to try and reach that milestone of 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully before the end of next year. Okay, so question. I know. What is your all-time favorite television show? Leave your answers in the comments down below. Until next time, be safe, be well. I love you all. Bye-bye. Graygor, wakey. Come now, wakey. That's better. You died, Mr. Graygor. We cannot have that. We've not gotten enough work out of you yet. Wakey. Now, back to work.